Pufftop. It's the final battle. Defeat Ogura and return peace to the seas. Hello everyone and welcome to Let's Play Densetsu no Starfy. In the last part, we finished off the sea in the sky, and now we're in the final level of the game. Oh dear. Prince Starfy, you've arrived. What happened here? Did Ogura do this to you? Don't worry, I'll take him out for you. No, you must look for the children.
Finally, Pufftop, time to cause havoc. From now on, this castle belongs to me.
King Papa Star, there's trouble. What is it? What is it? Just what is going on? Some awful monster called Ogura is attacking Pufftop. What? Ogura? I've heard of him. He was said to have been sealed away long ago. I couldn't be. That clumsy Starfy. Now I understand. All right, everybody. This is serious. Prepare for battle. But first, evacuate the children to somewhere safe. Starfy, just what have you done? All right, everyone. Follow along. Don't get separated now.
Hey, what is an Ogura anyway? Does it taste good?
You dummy, it's not candy, it's the name of a toy. Right, Mr. Soldier? Hey, that's enough chit-chat back there. Ogura's the name of a terrible monster.
You made him mad, you big dummy!
What's that? Takes one to know one.
Quiet, if we're too loud, we'll get caught, got it? Cut it out, you two, you'll make the soldier angry again. All right, kids, understand now? This is no joking matter. Long ago, Ogura attacked Pufftop. He's really scary. Huh? Why so quiet all of a sudden? They're gone. We separated. Where did they go?
Ogura, we won't be beat by you. Ow, shoot.
Hey, you over there. Help us out here. I need to hurry and find the children, otherwise the king will be furious. Crash, bang, boing. Did you say something? Hurry. This is bad, but will the children be okay?
Okay, that's enough playing around. It's time to finish this.
Ah!
Almost there. Just a little more before Pufftop is all mine.
He was too powerful.
Ogura has already caused havoc all throughout Pufftop. If we don't hurry and find the children... Good luck with that. I'm going after Ogura. But if you save the children, you'll receive a reward. Huh? A reward? Really? Well, in that case, Ogura can wait until after. Okay then, it's decided. Starf, first let's find those kids. It'd be wrong to ignore them while they're in trouble. Mo, you are the salt of the ocean. This area kinda sucks. Starf, it'd be bad if you were spotted by those guys. Proceed by hiding behind the walls. Don't go getting caught. So these are Ever Eyes, at least that's what they're called in the fan translations encyclopedia. They're essentially a very minor stealth sequence. We'll talk more about them the next time we see them though, because it's time for something different. There's a switch that opens the door, but when you go to enter it, it closes again. If standing on the switch doesn't work, perhaps look for something to place on it. So we have a pressure switch scenario here. Step on the switch, the door opens, but then when you get off of it, it closes. So we need to bait this skeleton on top of the switch and kill it, so its bones can weigh down the switch instead. And we also have some barrels to use here for this exact same thing as well. Now, in the case you mess up your placement with the skeletons, you're not out of luck. The skeletons are like dry bones from Mario, blood skeletons from Castlevania. After like 10 seconds or so, they revive and will start moving again, so then you can actively place them down. I do wish maybe you could push their bones around, because that way they maybe be a faster way of them moving than their actual movement, but it doesn't take too long to begin with. The big thing is you do actually have to cart them around more complicated areas as you go through this part of the level. So you need to start baiting them upwards through areas, up to the left and all that. My advice for this is unless the door's super close by, try to bait them slightly off of the switch first before taking them out, because that way when they revive, they'll walk onto the, swim onto the switch, and then you can use that moment to open the door when you're back over there. Like right here, kill it slightly to the right, then swim back over here, and now when it revives, we'll have a brief moment we can open the door without it being messed up. But then there's cases like this where you actually want to take the barrel to the further switch, because that way you can guarantee it's going to be on the closer switch, or that the skeleton's going to go on the closer switch. So, the Ever Eyes. The way they work is that they have a slightly random timer that counts down as they blink more and more. When their eyes are open, if you're not behind a green wall, you take damage and have to start that room entirely over. There were a couple rooms throughout this level, but here on our first visit at least, you don't have to worry about them too much, as the room they're in to begin with isn't that big to begin with, especially using the Ultra Star Spin. It can get you from one door to another pretty quickly. But once again, I actually also recommend showing some patience around them, because their timer is very random. Sometimes it's like 5 seconds long, sometimes it's like 20 seconds long. It really depends on what they feel like.
You saved us! Thank you very much, Momo!
Okay, get off me! Who said you could just jump all over me like that?
Let's get going then, Momo!
What's with this Momo thing? Whatever then. Just don't go running off. I think that means they like him. So now we're done at this portion of the level, but we still have 2 more doors to do before we're done with this entire section where you have to sneak around the Ever Eyes as well. And right here, you're seeing the hubris of my actions. Rushing too much around here with the Ultra Star Spin can actually get you into more trouble than it's worth sometimes, so you might just want to do a default super swim through this and actually take your time. Because even the slightest corner of one of Starfy's 5 points being outside of the green wall will get you hit and have you restart the room. This side is probably the most straightforward out of all the portions here, because you're just dodging through some spike balls and currents. It is very easy to take some hits here, but thankfully they do at least give you a health refresh about halfway through it, because there's a little side pathway you can go down for about, like, I want to say about 10 or so star pearls. So that can give you a pretty good chunk of your health back in the case you're taking a lot. 15, that's actually even better. 3 health going back instead of just 2. I tend to take a lot of hits here just because by this point in the game I am usually very impatient, just because I'm like, I got all these abilities, I'm gonna go fast, whee! When in sections like this, because of the rotations of the balls, you really should take some actual time.
Hooray! We were so scared!
Alright, settle down, kids. Okay, are all of you gonna be good and follow me?
Yeah!
Alright, Mo, keep it together. Just focus on the reward. Oh, he seems almost actually kind of good at handling kids. Interesting. What I find kind of interesting about this level is that it's made up of about as many sections as a lot of the other levels are, but because of the amount of cutscenes they actually have between them, the actual gameplay sections of this stage are much shorter than most of the other ones. I'd say this is about as long as the Coral Reef level in that regard. And honestly, I think that's a pretty good way to do a final level in a game like this, if only because some of the earlier stages were already so segmented and a bit longer than what you'd expect for a game like this to have, so going a little more short, but direct with what the gameplay is for the final level feels kind of fresh. This section's pretty straightforward. We got a few more balls, spike balls, and currents to work with, but we also got some blocks to push around. It actually feels like the one with the skeleton switches is probably the only one of these actual portions here that has an active new gameplay mechanic, which is a little weird, but oh well. And here we are, group of kids number 3.
It was so scary!
Don't cry, there's nothing to worry about now. The great Mo's here. Now be good little children and come along.
Okay!
And that's all the kids rescued. So now when we go back through this door, instead of going to the area with the Ever Eyes, we're going to be in a new section of the level.
It's really scary! Ogre's waiting up above us!
Won't you kids be quiet? Huh? That's what you're saying is true. Hey, Starf, I'll take these kids somewhere safe. And I'll take that jar with me as well. Wouldn't want it to break while you're fighting Ogura. Okay then. Hurry on ahead and look for him. Alrighty, welcome to what is essentially the final part of the level. we have 3 more small sections that end in switches we need to press, I guess levers technically. Each of those will open up a skull in front of that door that was just behind us a moment ago, and then when we open up all 3 of those, the final boss will be before us. Here in this section, we got laser eyeballs to dodge. Neat! The levers, once you reach them, are a quick just spin into to activate them and you're good. I guess you might want to hit the lever before you hit the nearby mermaid shell in case you want to leave off there and then, but oh well. Also, since I actually haven't talked about how it works yet, if you want to like just save and quit the game at any point, obviously you hit a mermaid shell, then you can just press start and turn off the game. What the game will do when you next boot it up is essentially treat that as a quick save, where you can select to start from that file at that point in time directly from the title screen. It doesn't even go to the file select menu. There are places where you're completely safe to turn off the game and you won't have to worry about that kind of state. I believe that's particularly in between stages or after we beat the game. There's a couple of other places to do that, but that's then and this is now. For now, we're apparently in space. I guess they did say we were welcome to join the stars when they moved Pufftop, didn't they? That was just another sky water platforming section, pretty straightforward. And for our 3rd section, our final platforming challenge is going to be an auto-scroller. Now, this is probably the tightest auto-scroller in the game, not so much for the scrolling speed itself, but because there's a lot of up and down you actually have to contend with in this one compared to what most of the auto-scrollers in this game actually have going on top of the fact there's going to be some paths for us to choose. Now, the game doesn't do a lot of dead ends in its auto-scrollers to try and crush you to death / just make you start the room over, but there's at least one of those in here. I think if memory serves, you want to choose the top route each time for not only a safe way, but a good way to get star pearls. Also, watch out for the occasional current, though because most of them are up and down, you don't need to worry about them impeding your horizontal progress. Not the biggest fan of this stage song. It's just, they're going for like the slow, somewhat menacing lead for a final boss kind of track. I just don't think it works with this particular song's case, if only because I think it's not very memorable compared to a lot of the other soundtrack. And over here is the final doorway, which means now we can hit this final lever, and now when we go through the door we're about to open, it's time for us to start the final boss. Here we go. Any words of wisdom, Mo? Starf, you made it! I've been worried about you. Ogura seems to be up above us. To be honest, I have no idea what kind of attacks he's gonna use. But see if perhaps there's a way to use his own attacks against him. I've still got some stuff to take care of down here, so you go on ahead. Alright, thankfully I do put some checkpoints before each of the phases of the final boss. Hello, Ogura. I think this is our first time talking since we've learned your name. Are you gonna, like, turn on invisible, or what? Oh, you're behind the wall. Okay.
So, you've arrived here at last, Starfy. Once I defeat you, Pufftop will truly belong to me. Here I come.
So, Ogura, by and large, only really has one attack in this phase. He's gonna move around the arena in just various ways and spawn in a little pinwheel hole. That will suck you in and damage you, but you can also bump into him to knock him back into it. Now, he does try to actively run away from the hole. In fact, what he'll try to do is bump you into it himself, especially the more aggressive he gets down his HP bar. Because his sprite is bigger than yours, it's a lot easier for him to get sucked into the magic ball than it is for you to get sucked in. You can sort of just bump him out of the way in corners, but because of the speed of the ball, that's sometimes not always going to be the best. Sometimes you might want to actually run away and take a moment to try to guide the magic orb elsewhere. But for a first phase of a final boss, this is pretty easy. I do love that animation of Ogura laughing, though. There's something about that that's comical to me. The really rough positions to get put into in this particular phase are you trying to bounce him away from a corner, but then just bouncing yourself directly into the magic circle. That's happened to me plenty of times in practice. I think even in a take of this level, I ended up deleting I think that happened to me like 4 times in a row because I was just getting a little too aggressive. So take some moments to like play more defensively and actively try to lead the circle somewhere else if it's getting a little too close to you. Like right now, oh god, come on. Okay, we're good. Enough time, enough patience, and enough very well-placed dashes. And phase 1 of the final boss goes down pretty quickly. Heck, there's times where him trying to bump you into the circle ends up going against his favor because he'll just push himself closer to the circle when doing so. But we're not done yet. It's a final boss after all. Of course, there's more than one phase. And you get an extra checkpoint alongside some enemies and some star pearls to restore your HP in the case I guess you were doing a checkpointless mermaid shell-less challenge for some reason. Phase 2, I don't like this phase.
Do you really think that you can defeat me? Time to transform and take things seriously.
Phase 2 of Ogura is a lot more aggressive with his attacks. Even though he's technically only got one. Outside of just trying to ram you directly with his very spiky body, he fires a cannonball at you that you then need to dash into towards him and aim for essentially the lower half of his sprite to get it stuck in his mouth and then attack that for damage. If you try to spin into any part of his body other than that, you do take damage. With that said, I believe damaging him during this phase, as long as you hit anywhere below his eyes, it counts as you damaging him for actual HP damage. If you miss him outright or miss the part of his hitbox that will actually like take the cannonball and make him vulnerable for damage, he will just puff up and bounce it around, and the more you bounce around the cannonball, the faster it does get. So in the right circumstances, this fight can be really tough to actually do damage to, but enough well-placed shots and it goes down arguably even faster than phase 1. But one more to go. Now, something I'm not too sure of, so you should probably do just out of instinct. I'm not sure if any of the enemies that precede any of the phases of the final boss are exclusive to these rooms, so you should take them all out at least one at a time to make sure that you have them in there for future-proofing yourself, essentially.
You finally made me angry. Now to transform again and become even stronger. No matter how many times you beat me, I will just keep coming back. You cannot win.
Okay, final phase of Ogura can be a little rough to handle. The weak point for this fight is the eyes. And sometimes you'll do more damage, you might notice, than others. It depends on when you actually attack him. If you just attack the eyes normally, every single health bar down below actually takes 2 shots. So instead of having 5 health, the final phase here actually has 10. Most of his attacks work like Master Hand and Crazy Hand attacks. He has a Fire Fist attack where he'll fire his right then left fist at you directly and then they'll go backwards. At the lower half of his health, he'll turn into the background and fire several fireballs in a row at you. He has a couple of other slamming attacks with his hands where he'll try to clasp his hands around to do damage or slam you into a distant wall. But another attack he has is where he'll fire fire out of his eyes in a radius. If you attack him during that attack when his eyes are irritated looking, you do, I think in this fight, technically double damage, so you'll take an entire health bar off by default. So that is what you want to do technically. It's just very risky to attack him during that phase. Here it is right there. Very tough to get in there, but if you do, you do more damage. Enough hits though, and the final boss goes down pretty quickly. Not the hardest final boss on the whole. I think there's some Kirby final bosses even that are harder, but I think it's ultimately a well done fight for what the game's mechanics are. And so, Ogura was sucked into the mysterious jar, ending his terror. It seems that peace has returned to Pufftop and the seas at last.
Starfy, I heard the news about the mysterious jar. Dropping the jar was quite irresponsible of you. Ogura was sealed away in there because he is mischievous. Anyway, Starfy, Mo, I thank you dearly for your help. Hey, you don't understand. It was all thanks to me, the great Mo. I see. Then can I interest you in a reward? Yeah, give me Pufftop's treasure. Oh, is that so? Starfy, bring the treasure here. Strike! What? You dropped all of Pufftop's treasure into the sea? Oi! Really, Starf? How could you have dropped my treasure? Go find all of the treasure, then we'll discuss your reward. Why, you little... Let's go. Hurry, capiche?
Someday, I will return to wreak great havoc.
The first half of Legendary Starfy. The treasure falling down on a Pufftop isn't a joke for the ending. We're not even technically at the halfway point of the LP in terms of pure part number. So with that, I'm actually just gonna let the music play in the credits because I think it's a really nice piece, and I'll see y'all next part. Otherwise, if you don't stick around for that, have a great night, take care, all that, and I'll see you guys next Let's Play, whatever that may be. Otherwise, I'll see y'all in part 9 for the start of the post-game. See you guys then.